Hi there, Robin here, and today we're going to be talking about this speaker right here, which is from Harbinger. It's the V4415. Now, if you're looking for a speaker that's going to compete against other brands like the QSC K12.2 or the JBL PRX, or maybe your Electrovoice LX or EKX, or even your Yamaha DXR, this might be the right speaker for you. You're going to put this in the same bucket as all those other speakers. It's one of these things that if you take some time and get to know it and maybe have a drink or two, you're going to have a great time with it. You're going to enjoy yourself. You're going to tell your friends how much of a great time you had. You're going to pick yourself up some. Now you can get this in a 15 or in a 12 inch. And in this video, we're going to talk about all the true benefits. And man, oh man, there are a lot of them. We can spend the entire rest of this video talking just about how exciting the app on this is, or how all the features on the back of the speaker are designed, placed, and organized, and allowing you to connect up multiple speakers. We can talk about all that. We can also spend a big amount of time just talking about the box, the speaker driver, and the tweeter. We can talk about features on how the actual design of the material chosen for the tweeter allows this to reproduce sound better than pretty much anything else you're going to like, more natural, more closer to your ear, something you're going to enjoy. You're not going to hear any piercing highs. You're going to hear all the rich sounds just like it was produced coming out of this speaker. Even though it's a PA speaker, it's meant to be ridiculously loud. And that's another thing. We're comparing it to all these other speakers, not just because of its performance, its quality, its overall features, but its ridiculous amount of actual real power to drive this speaker. We're talking 131 dBs on the 15 and 130 on the 12. This is a real number. That means dynamically, in a real world, you're going to be pushing these speakers at 100 dB, no problem, without a sub. Add a sub, you're in for a surprise. Now remember, if you're using this in a band or on your own, in a group, great setup. You can get this, you can get any of their other speakers to line up with it, and because of the tweeter and the horn design, and because of the actual woofer that they use in the package, they will work all together. So you can have it set up as a monitor. You can have it set up as a main speaker. They're interchangeable. They just work really well together. So again, in this video, we're going to try and cover everything a little bit because we can spend a lot of time, we're going to, on each individual part of the speaker. Now again, we're going to talk mostly about the 15. We do have the 12, and I do want you to feel comfortable about asking any questions down below. So here we are. What we're going to do is we're going to cover all the features on it, covering, of course, the app, the overall speaker design, the drivers, even the grill cover we're going to talk about. And we're also going to talk about how convenient and easy the entire speaker is to use for all your instruments and microphones, but not just that. How it interconnects between two speakers and does an amazing job. Now this can be used with as many speakers as you want, but it's designed to go partners with another speaker if you want, and then drop subs underneath it, and all controlled via the speaker or the app. So let's start with the actual speaker, work our way back to here, and then see what the app can do for us, because these are all very impressive things. If we start with the actual speaker box and the design, this is now with a gas-injected molding system. What that means is that engineers and the designers work in AutoCAD and do all these programs, do an amazing job coming up with a design that's going to acoustically reflect the sound that they're looking for. You think, well, that's an awful big thing, or, you know, how do they know that? They just know that. I mean, they're engineers. That's what engineers do. That's why they went to school. But when manufacturing the products, imperfections in that product can really change the overall acoustics of the speaker. Now, one way to now prevent that is by using a very sophisticated molding machine. It uses gas injection, which allows that everything from this tiny little corner here and the bumper here, everything gets the right amount of actual material in it to build the proper posts, to build the rib cage inside that actually gives the box rigidity and proper reinforcement, allows for the overall acoustics to be met as per the design specifications. Sounds very fancy, but it actually works because this box doesn't have a poor resonance. You don't get a cob effect, which is where you get a lot of sound out of the box. It sounds unnatural. It sounds very plasticky, cheapy like. No, high performance, quality overall sound. So any sound that does come through the box comes out and actually adds to the overall characteristics of the sound the speaker is going to generate without being not pleasing to the ear, let's say. So that's a very nice system to have set up. And it's a little extra, but it does make a better job for the product. Now, the other thing is their drivers. Years ago on their last generation, they did improve the overall material, composite, basket, everything that have to do with their actual woofer that's placed at the bottom. And that's been really good because performance, longevity, these things aren't blowing up for people, which is very important because you want to have something that's quality, reliable, and is going to work. I mean, you're not driving around with 2 spare speakers in your trunk of your car when you go DJing, right? No, you've got to rely on the products you have. That's what's going on here. That's why they've actually created that really sophisticated XR series, I think is what they call it, driver. The tweeter's made out of a material called PEEK. Now that's an acronym, fancy acronym for polyether, which is one word, but they're using the E as the first E. Ether, yes, you repeat the ether twice. Ketone. So you put that whole composite recipe together and you get the material they make the tweeter out of. Now, it's a plastic material, and this is very important. This material is very hard to compress. You cannot distort the actual size of it by either heating it up or cooling it down or adding a lot of pressure to it. Very good. When it does flex, it does return to its original state. Also, very important, all plastics have an acoustic resonation. Like, how does it sound, right? Does it sound loose? Does it sound tight? Does it sound sharp? So happens that polyether ether ketone actually has the same acoustics as like we would have in our ears. Very, very smart. It's a little thing that goes a long way. So yes, it's very durable. It's going to do a really good job, but most importantly, it sounds great. And you get rid of that top metallic sharp. When anybody uses an aluminum or a platinum or titanium or whatever they want for a tweeter, a metal, you tend to get very sharp on the highs, especially because the horn is up here and the driver's down here. This takes away that problem, and you don't lose any actual detail in the highs. So if you listen to songs that have this faint mid to upper range to it in the background, maybe somebody background vocal or something like that, you're going to hear it. You know, it's very important. If you listen to a lot of songs that have that, some speakers, it's gone. It doesn't exist. And some speakers, it's too dominant. Where this, it's just natural in the background the way it's supposed to be. So I really, really like that. Now, other things they do really well, the design of the cover, they put it in the molding and then the cover has been manufactured. So this way it cannot have any vibration, no residual effect. We're not going to push a lot of energy through this and have the steel vibrating. It's got a great look to it, sharp angles, bringing it around. Very nice with a smooth round effect in the front. All of this is to give it rigidity. Think of a bridge and how it has all the frame structure to it. That's what's going on here. Speaking about bridging and all of that, the box designs are very important. If you notice, the handle is not molded in. It's actually, the bodywork is all shaped. So this way we have good angles everywhere. This extra pocket right here, I've learned that this pocket allows for a lot more rigidity. This box doesn't want to distort because of that. Very nice. Handle on top, easy mounting on the bottom. Of course, screws, rubber feet, really, really smart. That gets us across the box. Fly points on top. You can hang it if you really want to. But look at this. I think this part of the video has been at least 2 minutes too long of me yapping about this speaker. Blue light at the bottom, white light when you're using it, blue light when the app's engaged. And if you set it so this way you peak monitoring, that'll turn red when you've hit the limits. So there you go. Let's get on to the back because, you know, that's our next big part. So here we are looking at the back of the speaker, and here is the start of the app. Very first thing you need to do is pick which actual one you want to use. Now, you can pick either one of your speakers, and you know you're talking to the right speaker because when you press the actual connect, the actual light on the front of the speaker will turn blue. Now, here, if you're looking at the back, you will get a confirmation on top. So I'm going to hit the confirm button, and there we go. So now we know that now I'm talking to this particular speaker. So before we go any further, let's look at all the inputs and outputs on this speaker, and then we can talk about how this app interacts with everything that's here. This is amazing, by the way. Do everything front of house. Give yourself some great option controls. The app is absolutely, it's like having digital mixer. That would be a more true statement. A digital mixer built here into the actual app, allowing you to control it from your phone or tablet and doing it all by plugging in everything to the back of the speaker. And when I mean everything, I mean everything. Microphones, guitars, their line inputs. You can have your keyboards or drum set plugged in here. You can have some aux input directly into it. You can Bluetooth directly to the speaker. And if you're just using the speakers for pure entertainment, you can sync the two speakers together via Bluetooth and not have to do anything else. And again, controlling it all from the app. Now, when we look at the input functions, that's going to cover us on the first 3 rows. So here we've got ourselves our input 1. Again, we're going to see little indicators in the middle. So we've got our clip light, which is on top, but on top we have effects. We're going to get to that. That's pretty exciting stuff. Then we've got our EQ, another big positive. We're going to cover all those too. Part of the app functions, and you can turn them on and off by bypassing them right here. Then we get down to what do we want this input to be? We want it to be a microphone. Maybe we want it to have a high Z, a guitar input. Maybe we need it for a line input. We have those options. Everything gets repeated once again on our second channel using combo jacks on both those 2 first channels. If I sound excited, really excited, it's because it's really excited to see everything you have here. Look at this, channel 4. Channel 4's got multiple options. We've got 3 different ways to use channel 4. We can have it for our Bluetooth. We can have it as a standard aux stereo input jack. We can have it as balanced or unbalanced, including mono or stereo for our left and right channel inputs. Keyboards, remember that, keyboards, electric drums, all that plugs into here. Anything else can go into our 3.5, and if we really want to be easy about our lives, Bluetooth. Then we get 2 more dials on top. Straight up, easy to adjust bass and treble controls right here. So in here, once we get across, we're going to see these inputs, the link in, link out option, so we can take a signal out of this speaker and send it to our next and control it through the speaker or the app. Very important. Now, because remember, I did actually load this up in my app. For me to actually plug this in here, which is link out, so I want the signal to come out of here and go into my second speaker, I'm going to want to change this. Maybe I don't want to have it only in mono. Maybe I want to run in stereo, which means left and right speaker. So each speaker gets to be one left, the other one gets to be the right. Now, because I'm running the app, I have to come in the app. This button here no longer works, not functional. Same thing over here. What happens is I come to the app and I'll be able to press the actual button at the bottom, which gives me routing options. Now I'll see that I have the normal, the stereo, and the link option. So of course this, I want to run in stereo, so I'll hit the stereo button. Now this is now in stereo mode. See that? The indicator changed. If I want to do this manually, I have to disconnect the app. So what we'll do now is we'll pull this out because I want to show you one more feature here. So on the output, of course, we have our link out here, but we also have our mix/sub out. Now, maybe I need to have some side fill speakers. So I've got maybe some 10s, some 12s, doing some side fill for the audience. Or maybe I want to run subwoofers down below. Now, this is a great way to get that all to work. Or maybe I just need to have more forward firing speakers. Maybe I don't have 2 15s, one on the left, one on the right. Maybe I have 2 on the left, 2 on the right. That's how we're going to be able to hook up even more speakers than just our linked pair. Very, very impressive. And they did put some details in the actual app, so when we cover the app, we'll see these. Now you also get, which is very nice, an actual 5 volt, 2100 milliamp USB charger, because people are using basically 2.4 gigahertz wireless transmitters to go back and forth to wirelessly connect the equipment. It's nice to be able to plug that in here and constantly have power for that wireless equipment as long as it runs off USB. Now, if I want to manually control everything here, well, I would have to come back to the phone and I'd have to disconnect from the actual app. So how do I do that? Well, simply enough, I'm going to back up one here and I'm going to disconnect from where I am. Disconnect from the actual speaker. So everything we're looking at is right here on the actual speaker itself. So let's take a closer look at just this portion, so this way we can really see what's going on. You can actually see dial control. So when I move the actual bass and treble control dials here, you'll actually see them respond on the actual screen, which is kind of cool, right? I mean, all that is right there. Do as you wish. If I press the actual menu button, it's going to bring up that menu button right there. If I go out of it, you're also going to see things right now that show me what's going on right in the actual system. So I can see the overall setup at a glance. I can easily decide to turn up the actual system, and we'll see that increase right here and decrease right here. That's the overall master digital volume control. Very, very nice. When you get in the actual unit, you have things like voice standards. Change it. These are all presets built right in. Very smart. Look at that. Look how impressive the overall change patterns are. It's not just a random thing that somebody really smart figured this all out. And you can even build your own if you wanted to. So that's very, very nice. Now, you also get app control enabled. I can actually decide to manually control things. I can set that up in here and change the passwords. So this way other people don't get into your system. Now, input levels and options. Here we go. Running all that right on the back here. Again, not to make it complicated. They just want to actually have you set up push to adjust, increase or decrease the overall level controls. Again, You're looking at a small screen. We don't want to make it complicated. That's what's going on here, right? So exit at the bottom, boom, we're right back to where we started. Things like balancing, pan. Look at, is this not impressive? Now, this is important because remember, you have the ability to link this to another speaker. So you can have a true left and a true right speaker. You get to now adjust this in the left and right pattern. How impressive is that? That is so simple. And again, that's for channel 1, 2, and 3. Very impressive. Keep going down. Reverb. Now this is exciting stuff. On channel 1 and 2, you're going to have, not kidding here, you've got effects. Just like a actual digital mixer. You can do all of that from here. Everything's built in. Play around with that. Go to the store. You're going to absolutely fall in love with this. You've got your time. You've got your highs. You've got the ability to boost it, cut it. Come on. Same thing with your lows. I mean, these things are all built in there. How crazy is that they went and did all that? System delay. Genius. Absolutely genius. Because if you're actually dealing in a very large hall or a church, very elongated, or maybe you're doing something outside. I've had it where, especially in horse arenas, it sounds odd that I would say horse arena, but you know, I have customers that have these very large open spaces with a roof on it and everything's all covered up, but they're open, they're large, and they'll have speakers all the way down. This is how they control the ability to have that. So this way, their next speaker doesn't offset. Now you notice it only goes to 50 milliseconds, 55 feet. Because honestly, it's a 15-inch speaker. It's going to have a certain amount of carry distance, and then you're going to want to have that next speaker. So maybe I have a speaker, and at around 50 feet, I would put another speaker to carry the sound forward again. That's why you're going to get that far. Again, very, very smart. I love this when it comes to overall features because you're not going to be limited. You've got the ability to even change your main speaker from being its left to the right. So the master speaker can be left or it can be right. I mean, you decide. All these little things. Because they decided, well, let's do it. If we have the option, people have asked for it, let's include it. So the LED light has all these great options. And they even describe to you what's going to happen with that option combination. So this way you can have it just on, off. You can have it so this way the power light has limited clip option. You have it so this way it's just going to be limit. This way it's only power or off altogether. These are all simple little things which are really, really nice to have because now you're in charge. And that's all it is. Because it's all software digital based programming in the actual speaker, you now can on your own customize the speaker to be exactly what you want it to do for you. That's it. That's simple. That's that. We haven't even done the app yet. And the speaker's like sold. You're like going in the store buying one. There's still the app to talk about. So let's wrap this part up by saying pretty cool stuff. And let's move on to the app. So now at this point, we're going to cover the apps. So as you see right now, once you actually start the app, it's going to show the speakers that you have on. You don't have to have the Bluetooth physically engaged for playing music for you to be able to control the app. And the more speakers you have, the more you'll have for options. When you tap on the actual connect option, it's going to allow you to get into the actual app. You confirm that that's a speaker. And again, you confirm that because if you're looking at the front of the speaker, it'll actually turn blue instead of white when it comes to the LED indicator. Now, if you remember from earlier in the video, we actually did some settings on the speaker, and those settings now appear here in the actual app setting. Now, the impressive part is I can grab anything that's here and I can play around with it. So if I grab the number 2 like I just did there, so that's the number 2's lit up blue. I grab that, I can bring it down, I can bring it up, I can do whatever I want. It's mine. It's my EQ. I can do with that and grab the number 1 now and I can pull it up and away. I can adjust this manually to whatever my heart's content. All the numbers will be visual, easy to reference. Now again, we basically can now have the option to decide what we're going to choose. So I can go up on top, click on number 1. So now I'm on input number 1, and now I'm going to make a choice. You see the number 1 in the top left-hand corner. You also have the option to turn it off or on simply by doing that. Now again, once it's there, I can tap on the reverb options. I can tap on the mixer options, allowing me to control the actual individual speakers. I mean, look at the detail on this. Now again, I control the pan on 1. Again, right there. Mute it simply by hitting the mute button. These things are that simple to operate. Why would you have to worry about anything more than that? So there you go. Pretty straightforward there. I really like the setup of this. That's the mixer option. There's my input 2. Now input 2 and 1 are going to give you even more options because of course here you get the choice to mute and unmute the effects levels. You get the actual gain levels overall at the very last. Reverb I can increase. And this is again proportionate. How loud do I want to hear it in the actual mix of the music? Is that not sweet or what? That is very nice. All set up in the actual speaker itself through the app. This means if I get everything working the way I want, I don't have to have an actual mixer with me because I should have enough inputs here for myself or me and somebody else. So if I have somebody playing keyboards, I'm playing guitars, and I have somebody else singing, all that is possible with just having 1 or 2 speakers. I don't need a mixer because it's all built in. That is super smart. Think of the value added to all of that. Gives you some money so you can afford to buy a subwoofer because you don't have to buy anything else. Again, I really like how easy it is to use the app. Now remember, at the bottom, you also have other options. So on the bottom left-hand corner, you get your subwoofer options, and you can turn that subwoofer option on and choose a different frequency that you want your cutoff to be at, and it brings you right back. Then we have our routing option. Do I want the speaker to be stereo? Do I want to run as a link in? If it's the second speaker, I'm just going to hit that linked in, and it'll turn everything else off, and then just use that as a priority. So I'm going to hit cancel because I've got the speaker doing everything else for me. Hit close and we're all set. Very nice. Same thing with the Bluetooth option. I can tap on the Bluetooth, turn the Bluetooth on. It's going to go into pairing mode. It'll tell me if it's actually been paired or not. That simple. Remember our overall bass and treble controls. And you even have the ability to download your saved options and upload your saved options as well. So this way allowing you to transfer them from one speaker to another if you want to just quickly set those up. Again, nice, straightforward, smart design. And the best part after all that, it doesn't matter if you have an Android or an iPad or a phone, it just works. It'll work on your tablets. It will work on your actual phones. There you go. That's everything on the app. Now, of course, I'm probably missing stuff because there is stuff hiding in the gear wheels, which are all the little detailed stuff like updating your apps, password protection. I mean, they didn't miss anything. How they front LED, again, all these things are all covered in the actual app. So we can control all of that. If we want to learn more about any of this, you can just hit the actual browse option and it'll bring it right up for you. Now remember, you can have your presets built and use the load option. And there you go. That's the app in a nutshell. Again, remember, the reverb, the chorus, absolutely a signature to this actual product. Yes, you've got your mic, guitar, and your option to have just line setups. But remember, that reverb and that actual chorus, huge. It basically gives you a built-in digital mixer for you to set up your channel 1, 2, and 3. So now that I've actually been editing the video, there's 3 things that I missed. And I know this video is getting pretty long in a tooth there, so I'm going to try and make it quick. One is compression. I didn't talk about the compressor. There's a compressor built into the actual system. This, again, the advantages of having a digital mixer built into the system. Also, right in front of us, we're also seeing the bass, mid-range, treble controls. All that is there as well. Also, a little extra info on the Bluetooth. You can connect the 2 speakers up seamlessly to play at the same time off of one phone or tablet or anything you may have. So, really easy to use. Now remember, one, you're always going to want to go into the actual showroom if you want to hear a proper sound. So you want to go down to your Guitar Center. You want to hear what it sounds like right there. Now the thing about these speakers, I did run them for 4 hours at about 100 dBs. So I definitely got to hear how they sounded before and after a hard use. And no change at all. The mics today are going to be a P10 and a P20 from Sterling. I wanted to try something different. I know I usually go at ribbon microphones, but I just wanted to try this out instead. I think they sound great, especially in person. You can get down to a store and listen to them. They'll just blow you away. Bass response is crazy. Highs are crystal clear without being sharp, like I was saying earlier in the video. Well, there you go. Let's take a listen to it and see what it sounds like. So there you go. I'd like to say thanks for watching. It's been a long video, maybe 5-6 minutes longer than it really had to be, but man, you got to get that shit in there. I didn't even tell you how much wattage it is. It's like ridiculous. There you go. Get down to the stores, have a look, see what it's like. Order online from all those links are down below. So again, Musician's Friend, Guitar Center, you're going to get an awesome deal. Tell them Robin sent you. See you next video. Like I say, thanks for watching. By all means, magic is going to happen here. This is where we get down to the counter clock. Okay, first, it's subscribe. Subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, why haven't you done that yet? Then we've got our next video. So if there's no video here yet, it'll just say best video for you. But if we have the new 12-inch version of these guys, the V4415, it'll be right here. And we're also going to show you how to hook those up with subwoofers. And a couple of extra things that, amazingly enough, we didn't cover in this video yet. Like I say again, thanks for watching. Bye for now.